I believe that a lot of us are in a season where God is bringing us into our promise, the thing that He has spoken over our lives. Maybe it was months ago, maybe it was weeks ago, or perhaps it's been years. But it was a promise, a personal promise that He gave to you. Maybe it was a marriage, maybe it was a child. And I want to specifically talk to my ladies because I know that it's a lot of my ladies out there have been trusting the Lord for a kingdom husband. They've been trusting the Lord for a faithful and a covenant marriage, okay? And you have been praying, you have been obedient to your walk to God, you have been obedient in your life. What you've been doing in public, you have been doing in a secret place. And I believe that a lot of you are in a season for your kingdom husband. But the thing is, the blessing will not come packaged as you thought. The blessing will not be as packaged in the way that you thought. Now, don't get me wrong. The blessing is still going to be good. It's still going to be for you because God Himself sent that blessing to you. But what I'm saying is the expectation, that list that you wrote down, you're going to have to scratch that because the blessing that God is giving to you may come packaged differently. Okay? And what I mean by this, I'm going to take you to a chapter in the Bible, just a verse. And that's when the Lord was raising up a new king, and that was David, okay? Because Saul, he was no longer doing the Lord's work. So the Israelites wanted a king, which was originally Saul, but again, he was a wicked king. So God found a man after His own heart, which was young David. So I'm going to take you to, and He sent His prophet Samuel out to the father of David, which is named Jesse. And while he was at his house, Jesse presented his sons while David was in the field tending to sheep. And all the sons, yes, one of the sons that Samuel had spoke to, he looked the part of a king. He looked just like a king from the outer appearance. But the Lord, according to 1 Samuel 16:7, he said, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." So He was telling Samuel, that is not the one that I told you to go to Jesse's house. That's not the one that I have appointed to be king, because the Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So the Lord seen the heart of Jesse's older son, and He knew that He was not going to put him over His people. He seen what we did not see, but according to human standards, according to what we see with our physical eyes, He would have made the perfect king, because His looks on the outwards, His looks and His stature outwardly shows that of a king. But see, again, God looks at the heart. And that's what I come to encourage my sisters today, that you have to be very careful with a list that you make, okay? And I'm not saying don't make a list. I'm not saying don't have standards and morals. We all should have standards and morals. But what I will tell you, don't count somebody out. Don't count something out just because he ain't 6 foot tall, or he don't have a 6-pack, or he don't make 6 figures. Shout out to R.C. Blakes, my spiritual mentor, for that. But don't count him out, because the package may not come. The blessing may not come packaged in a way that you thought it would be. And I don't want you to miss out on something, a good opportunity, or maybe your person, because he ain't dressed the part like you was hoping to, or maybe he ain't tall enough, or maybe he a different race, or maybe of a different height, possibly. Okay, don't count him out, because again, the man, we look at outer appearance. That's something that we naturally do, but the Lord looks at the heart. So I'm here to tell you that we are in a season. A lot of us are trusting God and have trusted God with our lives. We put our faith, we put our confidence, we put our hope in Him, and we've been praying, we've been fasting, and now a lot of you are in a season of receiving. A lot of you are getting a yes and amen this season. But again, don't be surprised if that blessing don't come packaged in the way that you thought. But don't discount it, because again, you have to test the spirits. A good tree bears good fruit, and a bad tree bears bad fruit. So you always got to be discerned. You have to discern, because we can have something that looks so good on the outside, but so nasty, so ugly on the inside. Okay, so we have to be very careful on how we proceed to move forward. But again, I believe that a lot of us, a lot of you, and I include myself up in this as well, that we are in the receiving season. We in the yes and amen season of receiving the goodness of the Lord. Okay, we are in promised land, milk and honey flowing seasons. Okay, and like I said, I know a lot of my ladies have been trusting the Lord for kingdom spouses and kingdom marriages, and his promises is always yes and amen. And so if he spoke a thing over your life, you have to believe in the fullness of time and his divine timing, he will bring it to you. But again, the blessing may be packaged differently, but that does not mean it's not from the Lord. You have to be willing to give and take a little bit, okay? You have to be willing to use your discernment. It's because I don't want you to miss out on something that's God sent, that's God ordained. So, okay, and again, there's nothing wrong with having a list, okay? But this is one thing that I live up to myself, is whatever that I ask of a friendship, whatever that I expect in a relationship, I want to be that person too. So if I want somebody to have a kind heart, to be a kind person, I need to be a kind person as well, okay? So sometimes we need to go back to some of my ladies that may have a list of expectations or something that they feel like I'm not going to budge on, I'm not going to move on. Maybe go back in your alone time and go over that list and see if it's a reflection of is it a reflection of the characteristics of God. You know, of course we want our men to have the characteristics of God and be Christ-like, but the same thing that we would want of him, I'm sure that your future spouse would want in you. So we need to always remember that, and let's just be mindful and let's keep our eyes open. And while we still waiting for that promise to come, and it will come, let's continue to do the work. Let's continue to serve. Let's continue to be grateful for all the Lord has done for us. Okay, again, a lot of us is in a yes and amen season. God has blessings stored up. He has blessing that he's releasing unto his ladies this season, to his men this season. This message is for men as well, but I know that it's a lot of my ladies that has been praying and they've been waiting on the Lord for their kingdom spouse, and y'all are definitely in the season. But again, that package may not come like how you expect it to, but it's still a blessing sent to you from God. So I hope and pray that this message resonates to each and every one of you. Until next time, y'all stay blessed, stay prayed up, and keep the faith. God bless y'all.